All right, so we're going to be doing something that I think that me and Chris do this all the time. You guys out there, everybody who talks about movies does this. This is woulda, coulda, shoulda. Basically where we go off on a tangent talking about these ideas about movies that you've seen, and you were just like, you know, if they had just done this or done that, wouldn't it have been cool? They could have done it, and they should have done it. So what's the first topic we got here, Chris?
All right, so the first topic that we have that we just recently got into a fist fight over was about The Matrix. Now, everybody knows The Matrix is a classic, and
Awesome.
I'll keep throwing S's at the end of it, like William Neeson says. Everybody knows The Matrix is a classic. We have Neo, but did you guys know that Neo was originally cast for Will Smith in mind? So he turned it down, and luckily for us, because I think the way Keanu Reeves, the way he did it, it fit perfectly with what we saw. But I'm always wondering what would that have looked like, man. What did you think about that when you first heard that Will Smith was originally cast as Neo?
I think he would have done a good job, but I think that there's two particular scenes where, actually three scenes that come to mind where nobody, in my opinion, could have played it out as flat and cool.
Flat and cool. That's a perfect way to put it.
Just a badass, and he knows it scenes. One was the first time, and this includes another character that we're about to bring up that we could have swapped. The first time that Neo starts to believe in the subway train fight scene.
He's starting to believe.
Yeah, he's like, Carrie Ann Moss is like, what is he doing? Because he sees the exit and he turns around, looks back, and then what she says, what is he doing? And then he's like, he's beginning to believe.
Morpheus, yeah. See, what comes to mind to me on the favor of Will Smith, what I would have liked to have seen after he did believe, when he died and came back and stopped those bullets.
No.
I would have loved to see how Will Smith would have did that. That'd be awesome.
Didn't he just like look up and he says no?
I can imagine. Will Smith would have been like,
I can count the number of times in my life where I got so amped up and I was just jumping out of my seat, just like, oh shit. That when he came back and stopped the bullets, and then he grabs it, he looks at it and puts it down. The other agents look at each other. Fuck this, they're out. But do you remember when he kicked Agent Smith's ass one-handed?
Yeah, he just what? Yeah, everything was just so easy. Like, why? How is this just? How have I not believed before? You know,
he's not even looking at it. Just
I'm not even thinking about you right now. I'm like doing my taxes over here.
Right, and then he hyperextends that leg, just and then throws him, and the other agents are like,
and Smith was winded. It was crazy. Those scenes like that make me wonder. Will could have pulled that off. Now, I'm not an advocate for Will over Neo and whatnot. Yeah, you say he's a great actor and whatnot. The only thing is, and this was my argument, if Will would have taken the role, we would have never have known. He would have been the quintessential Neo.
Right. And
then today we would have been like, did you know that Keanu Reeves was up for that role? And we would have been like, oh, that would have been horrible. Oh,
like totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been like, wow, which he did. Which we would have been making fun of. But everybody, I wonder how Will would have played it. Would he have been like a little bit more upbeat and cocky with it? Or would he have been low? How'd you call it? Flat and cool?
Yeah, just flat deadpan. But we come to an interesting point that me and Chris were talking about this specifically. So let's say that Keanu Reeves is not Neo. Will Smith is Neo.
Okay.
So what if we took Keanu Reeves and put him as Agent Smith? Because that's exactly the kind of role that he could do.
And that was the part of the conversation where Sean blew my mind. I was like, I remember we were playing a video game, and the second you said that, I was like, oh, I went crazy. That would have been awesome.
So do you remember that scene when they first capture Neo and they put him in the interrogation room?
Right.
And this is where, and I mean, he owned it as Neo, but you imagine if Keanu Reeves walked in as Agent Smith and had that big booklet, we've had our eyes on you for quite a long time, Mr. Anderson. You know, he's just like, you have quite the rap sheet. And he's just like flicking through the pages like he really needs to be reading this shit. And then he's like, what do you think of that? And he's like, He flicks him off. Give me my phone call.
Will would have knocked that scene out. That would have been another scene where Will would have knocked that out. I want my fucking phone call.
Yeah, he's like, he's like, Mr. Anderson, what good is a phone call if you are unable to speak? And he just looks like, what the fuck? And it takes his mouth away. You imagine Will Smith doing that? You could just hear him yelling that shit.
It would have been awesome. The actor who played Agent Smith.
He was in a lot of
Hugo Weaving.
Mm-hmm. Red Skull, The Lord of the Rings. He was the villain from the first Captain America
movie. Yeah, and he's still contracted to come back, but he doesn't want to, and he's let them know. And I think Marvel is kind of like respecting him. Like, you know, they could contractually make him do it because
he's a little bit old to play Agent Smith, I think, at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about Agent Smith. I'm talking about Red Skull. He's contractually bound to like two more movies, but I don't think Marvel is going to mess with him. They would just save the money, recast, find another actor.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant as Agent Smith.
And he was brilliant as Agent Smith. That's the thing where it's like, if I could make an alternative universe and take Hugo Weaving out of it, Keanu Reeves would, because he was such a great Neo, would be a great substitute for that. Not that he's a better actor than Hugo Weaving, hell no, but
totally different kind of actors, I think.
Exactly, but that face-off between Smith and Mr. Anderson / Neo with Will Smith and Keanu Reeves would have been interesting. So when you said that, they had totally like kicked my ass. That was awesome. So,
well, you remember when he threw him down the train tunnel? He's like, "Do you hear that, Mr. Anderson?
That is the sound of inevitability." The way he said,
the sound of your death. And he looks at him. He's like, "Goodbye, Mr. Anderson." Like he had to like over enunciate everything.
Smith would have been like, "My name."
And he's like, "Kobe," and just jumps up into the ceiling.
Exactly. So another thing that I wanted to bring up on this segment was, what if M. Night Shyamalan had not directed The Airbender? And I don't know, do you know anything? We haven't talked about this yet. So did you watch that last Airbender movie?
I got about 30 minutes into it, and then I was like,
gave up.
This is garbage. And no, I honestly, I did get about 30, 45 minutes into it, and I actually fell asleep, and I just never brought myself to finish
back to watch it.
I just remember that kid just.
No, the trailer made it look like it was going to be awesome. Did you ever watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon series?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
Watch that series. It's like a throwback to like old anime stuff. It's a Nickelodeon cartoon, but the story will blow your mind. Like, do not judge that based on what you saw in
based
the movie.
On the Schlammer Hammer.
If you watch it stretched out, it gives you a great story. But the thing that I loved about it the most, because I'm a huge fan of this guy, and I'm gonna get to him in a second. On the third season, I believe, or the second season, there was a character who, you know how the airbenders, they control the air, and then there were the firebenders, waterbenders, and there was rockbenders. There was a rockbender. She was a chick who, she was blind. She was a little girl, but she was a great rockbender, and she fought in these tournaments with these other rockbenders, and they fought, and she kicked all their asses. But there was a character, and I think this is the third season, that she fought in this tournament, and his name was the Boulder. And while they fought, he would speak and refer to himself in the third person. The Boulder will destroy all enemies. And if you think, and he would raise an eyebrow, and I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, he would look up and pose. We just talked about this a minute ago. The Boulder will, if you can smell what the Boulder is cooking. He didn't say that.
Yeah,
but it was obvious that the Boulder was the Rock. And if that movie would have been a success, the Boulder is who I was waiting for. I was so hoping that movie was going to be good, because all I wanted to see was the Boulder. Because
he wasn't in it. Was he in it?
No, he wasn't. No. The first movie was pretty much based on the first season, and then there would have been a part 2 would have been more about what season 2 was more about, and then part 3 which featured the boulder, would have been more about that wrapping the whole story up. There was only 3 seasons of that cartoon, and there's a spinoff now based on another character. But the boulder was a hilarious character because you knew exactly who he was based on. And the second they would have put that on the big screen, The Rock would have been all over that because he would have channeled his old character from the WWE and whatnot. So if you have a chance, man, go check out. That's my woulda, coulda, shoulda. What if Shamhammer didn't mess that series up, or if we would have had another director? How great would that series have been, man? That's my suggestion to you. Check it out if you haven't, or just look at some YouTube clips of the boulder from Avatar: The Last Airbender. What do you got?
I will check it out. So the last one I wanted to talk about was, and you guys may have just completely written this series off just because the reboot just really didn't meet the expectations. But I don't know about you, Chris, but I am really hoping that Sony Pictures does not give up on the RoboCop series. But I do think that they need to change some of the. I know there's like.
No, I don't know why I thought you were gonna say Fox and the Fantastic Four. I don't know why.
No. I want to see a proper RoboCop sequel made, and I will say this though, they should have. And I've got 2 people in mind. And the first one, people will be like, what? But look at his stuff and tell me what you think of if they put the helmet on and everything. So, you know who Sebastian Stan is?
Remind me.
Bucky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So I would say use Sebastian Stan or Tom Hanks' son, Colin Hanks.
I like the Sebastian pick. I like that a lot. I don't know why I really like that. I don't know why, but I see what you're talking about because he has the jaw for it. He was up for Captain America, and then he was second to he lost it to.
Good that they picked Chris Evans because he looks very much like the All-American boy, look like Captain America
with the hair and everything. But I could see that as I don't think they picked a bad RoboCop.
No, Joel
that guy
was good, and even his voice and everything. But I don't think he's going to get another shot. He might.
I don't think the franchise is going to get another shot.
I hope that is not the case, and I hope that if they do bring it back, they give it to somebody like Neil Blomkamp, the guy who did District 9 and Chappie, and is doing the Aliens reboot.
So what should they have done? What do you think is the reason why it's not happening? What would they have done? What should they have done? What could they have done?
They could have chosen a completely different director, should have chosen a completely different script, and they could have done that, and they did.
They could have made it rated R, like they should have done.
Let me ask you something real quick. What is what are 2 things that stood out?
I knew this question was coming. I knew it.
Out of the original RoboCop, what are the 2 things that stood out that you remember the most about this movie?
Does it hurt? Does it hurt? That shooting?
The killing of Murphy.
And then for some reason
suit.
The suit they did do an homage to the original suit. They did have a silver version of it. They had a stealth version. The suit wasn't the bad thing because they had a stealth RoboCop suit.
But I mean the original. What to me?
The original one for the 80s even to today's standard, that suit still holds up. If they would have used that original suit today, it would have still held up. But I understand him being skinnier and sleeker and stuff, making it look like he could probably move, because that was the one criticism I would have had about the original RoboCop, that he couldn't move. And nowadays with robot movies, robots are like pretty much fucking ninjas now.
They can CGI the stuff
they can do. Yeah, they can do a lot of more movements and whatnot. Just like in RoboCop the video game, he couldn't jump, but in RoboCop 3 the video game he could. That was weird. So technology, but it got better. So I won't bash him too much on the suit, but the direction, I agree.
The sound effects, I don't know if you guys check it out. Watch the RoboCop the original. The sound effects when him moving that suit and the way the guy moved.
Yeah, every movement, every neck movement, everything, the hands, everything had crisp, perfect.
Do you remember that? It's 500 foot-pounds. He could crush every bone in your hand. He's like, "You're gonna be a bad motherfucker." Even
when the baby food was coming out, that slot. That was a hungry brother. Remember that dude? Like, dude, don't you eat? He's like,
He was licking his fingers too.
He was all over. It tastes just like baby food.
Tastes just like baby food. He's like, knock yourself out.
Like, yeah, really. Like, stop stealing your kids' food. Like, what the hell?
Like that. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember the sound of that. So yeah, it was the killing. It was the shooting scene for me. And for some reason, that scene where it's actually 3 scenes that stand out. Two are by the main bad guy when he spit the blood. The improv when he spit the blood and got that real reaction from that guy playing the cop.
Was improvised.
That was improvised.
Yeah.
And and the part where he broke into the guy's apartment and those 2 hookers were there like, bitches leave. Those are the 3 things that stand out to me from RoboCop 1, man.
The villain was phenomenal. Clarence Boddicker.
The perfect villain from that 70s show.
He's like
kicking ass.
Just give me my fucking phone call. And the dudes didn't know it was coming. They looking at it like, Jesus Christ.
That's got to be one. We have to do a top 10 of the greatest improvised moments in movie history. That was an awesome scene. But RoboCop, I don't argue with that pick that you have for RoboCop. That actor from Bucky, what's his name again? I'm sorry, Sebastian Stan. Yeah, he's shit. Now I want that. Now that would have been a great pick.
Give them a different director, a director that specializes. Not this other. I know people are all excited about this guy because of other movies. Honestly, like I said before we end this, the biggest emphasis and the shocking part of this movie was the killing of Murphy. It was one of the most disgusting film scenes ever shot, and I have the uncut director version of this where it shows the arm flying off, and it's not CGI. And he's like, you know, he shoots his hand off. We'll give the man a hand. You know, give the man a hand. They just laughing at him. He's like, won't die. You will, if you see this scene, you will never forget this movie scene. And I just didn't feel that at all. A stupid car bomb. That was it. A fucking car bomb. And then RoboCop. I mean, come on. That is so lazy and lame.
I mean, you got to give it to him, though. This is the difference between PG-13 and NC-17. It was originally, the scene was so gory. They went past the R rating, which would be a kiss of death in a lot of cases. But RoboCop it made a lot of money.
People are just like, holy shit. Let's watch it again.
Well, you know what else is worth watching again? I'm going to go to what's trending.
Oh my god!
So I want to talk about some crazy topics. There's some stupid stuff that's happening now right now. But let me get it out the way. I know you're not big on politics, but there's some things happening with these. We got 2 unpopular candidates for presidents, that have high unapproval rating. This is the highest unapproval ratings in history. We got Donald Trump, you got Hillary Clinton, who's a presumptive nominee. Now, Trump has his scandal with a business that he had back in the day called Trump University. He had a real estate school, and it's been proven that it was a freaking scam. Like, people have like coming back and they're ripping on it. And on the other side, you got Hillary Clinton. Her big scandal is the emails the classified emails that she had while she was a Secretary of State, and she used it on her personal email account. So everybody's like on both sides is like they're supporting their candidate. You know, the Democrats are like the emails aren't a big deal, but Trump was ripping people off. On the Republican side is like that Trump University thing is they're just lying and trying to hurt his credibility. But Hillary like put us in a national security crisis and whatnot. I mean, overall, based on what you know about these 2 people from their celebrity on TV, because they're both celebrities, so you like it or not, guys. I mean, we pretty much elect celebrities nowadays. Whoever can win this popularity contest. What do you think would be the bigger issue? Do you think people are willing to forgive this email thing, or this guy with this history of these I guess I don't know, with people with his companies and whatnot, pissing people off with his companies and things that he's done in his past and whatnot? Who do you think's better at being Teflon, like they call Donald Trump, Teflon Don? Who do you think is going to be able to rise above these issues in their campaign?
All right, so right out of the gate, guys, I will tell you, I don't like either of these individuals on a personal level. I don't like really anything about them. I am not politically informed. I know what I know by watching TV and whatnot. Chris is a lot more informed about this. But from what I understand, if I take my opinion about the individuals as people and look at them strictly from a political standpoint and as a position in the government, I would say that an individual, if that is right, putting classified information on their personal email, that right there sounds pretty damn risky, if you ask me. As far as the Trump University people feeling like they get ripped off, that's messed up too, but I can kind of push that away from politics. I don't really, it just doesn't, maybe.
It's harder to pin it down on Trump because he doesn't have a political background. So the only thing you can attack him on is his businesses.
And maybe they're fishing. Maybe they're just fishing for stuff. Yeah, I would say that putting classified information in your personal email that you know people are going to try to hack and probably did hack and they probably covered it up. That to me, automatically, my natural instinct goes, why the fuck is this person putting classified shit in their person? Is that right? She put classified shit in according to history, every Secretary of State has done that. Yeah. I mean, Condoleezza Rice did it for when Bush's. All of them have done it ever since the emails were the first Secretary of State who was Secretary of State in the Clinton's era. When email was invented, she didn't do it because she didn't email anything. She was still old school. She's like, I don't give a shit about what this email thing is. So she just wrote everything down. But after that, yeah, they all pretty much did it. So if a lot of them you say have done this, what about this in particular is different?
Because it's today. It was a big deal when they did it. It was a big deal when they did it.
I didn't know where,
but today Hillary Clinton is running for president. And so it's a big deal today. And then when it's over, if she wins or loses, then we're gonna move on. We don't give a damn. If she loses, they're really not gonna care.
I think that they need to come up with when it's a proprietary system. If you're high enough in the government and you are speaking to other people high enough in the government, they need to have their own proprietary system that has absolutely no connection with the general public World Wide Web to pass information to each other.
If it gets hacked and it's a government issue, then they can go for the people who are trying to hack them, and because it's the government system. I agree with that. Like, yeah, don't do government if you're in a certain position. Because like in our regular jobs, like if you had a corporate job and you were using the company's computer to do your own, like if we were streaming live on YouTube as a corporate on a corporate computer, we could get fired for that.
Right.
So you're right. It should be all a single system.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those people that went to that school, they are suing.
I'm sure they're pissed.
They are pissed and suing. And the lawsuit is pending, is happening right now. Oh, and the whole thing with the judge that's over the case. Trump is trying to get him recused because he's
a hater.
Because he's a Hispanic. So that's the part of the question I was thinking, like, what is a bigger issue? Is it the fact that Trump is trying to focus on this judge and get him off the case because he's a Hispanic? Is that, and it's like, because this guy has no history of using his race to you can't say that a person just because they're a different race that they can't do their job. Because are you saying I can't be a YouTuber because I'm black, or I can't do it because I'm Hispanic, or I can't do it because I'm this and that? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I didn't hire you because you're white or you're black or you're this or that. If you can do the job, just do the job. Just be impartial and just do it. But Trump is thinking that he's not going to get a fair trial because of what he said about Mexicans and the wall and stuff.
I guess he should have said that.
I guess that was my point. I guess you shouldn't have said it.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Exactly, but that's over now. Well, anyway, so I guess we just get you guys to comment on that stuff. I mean, I don't care whatever happens is gonna happen.
Out of there. You're both out. Get the fuck out.
These are our choices, man. You pick column A or column B, sir.
I say we give them boxing gloves and put them in the UFC ring and let them beat the fuck out of each other and see who wants it more.
My money's on Hillary. She looks like she can sucker punch.
She just punch him in the nuts.
She plays that grandma role. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be funny. But oh man,
Celebrity death match.
Yeah, let's move on to from these guys. These guys aren't popular. Forget them. So moving on to a more interesting topic. The UFC. That's another thing that's trending right now. Brock Lesnar is coming back for one night only, and he will fight.
Who the fuck knows?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
They're all looking at each other.
I bet everybody's gonna be like, everybody's gonna be like, put CM Punk in there with him now that he's a part of the UFC. Like, no, this isn't the WWE. This is real. Like Brock Lesnar would probably kill CM Punk in the octagon. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see because I was shocked that he became the champion. So for him to come back to the WWE and become as popular he's more popular than he's ever been before, because people kind of would boo him a lot. They didn't know what to do with him. He went to the UFC and won, and then he used that and came back, and he's like a legend now. He's a living legend. And for him to go back, it blows my mind. So I got a lot of respect for him. I didn't see that coming. So that's interesting. I mean, will you watch? Do you watch UFC fights?
Yeah. It's one of the boxing and UFC are pretty much the only sports I watch every time I get a chance. You know what?
So you're not keeping up with the NBA finals?
I had a basketball once.
There's another thing that's trending also. We got Golden State is up 2-0 against LeBron and the Cleveland Browns. So I'm not watching it because I'm pretty much sure that LeBron's going to lose again. So that's not breaking news. But anything else that's trending in the world? Because I have one more nugget that's going to top every story. All right, here's the final. All right, we're going to make this the final story. Here it is, guys. Hold on. Can you believe this is happening? This is finally happening. He's made it. He has made it. There is a Justin Bieber emoji.
Oh, God.
I'm like, why is this trendy? Who gives a shit that there's a Justin Bieber emoji con? But you brought up with something interesting about how that the new movie,
Pop Star movie is just talking shit about him. The nonstop, he's become the brunt of the jokes.
I cannot wait to watch that movie.
It takes a whole village to make me look dope. You know, like what the fuck? Ever since I was born, I was dope.
I was dope. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. I'm gonna drop a review on that, man.
I thought it was gonna bomb, Chris. Guys, I honestly thought, and for those of you guys who don't know this guy, Andy Samberg and all these other guys, they have like almost like a Weird Al Yankovic group called the Lonely Island Boys.
The Lonely Islands.
Yeah, I like their song. You know, like what was it? Is it
Dick in the Box?
Mother Lover?
Yeah.
It ain't. What is it? It ain't gave. It's a three-way.
Yeah. With a honey in the middle, there's a leeway.
They got some funny shit. So when I read the reviews, it's got like a 70 worldwide. It's got like a 75 out of 100. I was like, yes, good. Thank God, I'm gonna go see it now. And we actually had press passes to go see it. I didn't
like Hot Rod all that much. I watched it and I didn't. Man, I know you loved it, right?
I thought this. Well, I'll put it this way: every time I watch that movie, I appreciate it more.
So I'm pretty excited about Pop Star because I think it fits because of his music background and everything, comedian music. I think this was the perfect idea for Andy Samberg. This is gonna. I think I can't wait to see that movie. And I wonder how it did in the box office. I'm checking. That's what I'm checking right now.
Let me ask you something real quick though. You saw Hot Rod, right?
I saw Hot Rod. Yeah.
Do you remember the angry dance that was referenced to in Flashdance in the woods?
Yeah, like he was. Like I was punch fighting. Like I was punching the air or something. Then he fell. Like
he fell down a hill for like 10 minutes.
Like 10. Yeah, exactly. I remember.
Instead of drinking beer like Kevin Bacon in a car factory, he's drinking root beer and dancing off the fucking tree. There's a lot of references that for some of you guys will not get in that movie.
Was that a Footloose reference?
It was either Footloose or Flash. No, you're right. It was Footloose, not Flashdance. It was Footloose. Because he was angry because they didn't allow dancing or some crap, so he went into the little car factory and put on his angry pop techno music, and he's all dancing in the factory and shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was that scene that threw me off. Maybe it was a long fall, but sad thing about it is, and I was just checking. You saw me checking my phone real quick. I was trying to see where. I know we're not doing a box office segment, but it debuted at number 8 on the charts. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna check it out. So let's find out why it didn't hit. So I don't know. That's that's our episode, guys. Hey. We're almost there, man. We're about to hit another 100, so we're almost at 300. So we're going to be giving away tickets if we can get that done before the what's next? The Warcraft. What is it? I said this month it would be your choice. It can either be from Warcraft or it could be for Independence Day. So,
but thank you guys. We appreciate it. I know it seems like it's been a long road, but for some of you, you just joined. Keep watching us. We appreciate it. Leave comments below if you have suggestions, something you guys want us to talk about. Let us know. Meantime, keep watching the movies, playing the games, killing news.